In today's video, I am going to teach you how to get started with Pivottables in Excel. If you have never used a pivot table before, this is the fastest way to create a clean starting point, and then you can organize your data in a way that makes analysis much easier. To begin, click any single cell inside your data table range A1 to C5. This tells Excel which set of cells you consider the source data. Make sure you click inside the actual table area, not outside of it, because Excel needs to correctly detect the range when it creates the pivot table. Take a moment to confirm that you selected a cell within the filled data you want to summarize. Next, click the Insert tab on the ribbon menu. The ribbon is the toolbar at the top of Excel, and the Insert tab contains options for building reports and visuals. Switching to Insert helps Excel show the commands related to tables, charts, and especially pivot tables. Now, locate the pivot table button on the far left side and click it. This opens the pivot table creation options. If you are using a version of Excel where the layout looks slightly different, the pivot table command will still be in the insert area. The important thing is that you are starting the pivot table wizard so you can choose where the pivot table should appear. After you click pivot table, verify the table range is correct. Excel usually fills this in automatically based on the cell you selected earlier, but it is still important to double check. If the range is wrong, your pivot table may pull in incomplete data or include blank rows. Look carefully at the range shown in the wizard and confirm it matches the data you intended to use. Then select New Worksheet. This option tells Excel to place the pivot table on a fresh sheet, which keeps your original data unchanged and easier to manage. A new worksheet also helps you avoid clutter and makes it clear what is coming from your pivot table versus what is in your source table. Once you have selected New Worksheet, click OK to generate the blank pivot table layout. At this point, Excel creates a new sheet and a pivot table framework where you can build your report. You will see a pivot table fields pane, along with an area where your pivot table output will appear once you start arranging fields. Now, look at the pivot table fields pane and check boxes in it to arrange data. The fields pane lists your columns from the original dataset, and checking boxes tells Excel which fields you want to include. You may notice that some fields behave differently depending on whether they are text or numeric. This matters because pivot tables use different areas to calculate results and group categories. After that, drag text columns to rows and numeric columns to values. This is the key step that shapes how your pivot table displays information. When you drag a text field to rows, Excel will use it to create categories down the left side of the pivot table. This is ideal for labels like names, products, or any other non-numeric information. When you drag a numeric field to values, Excel uses it for calculations, such as sums or averages, depending on the field type and what Excel chooses by default. If you want to refine what you see, continue dragging the fields in the same manner. Text into rows for grouping, and numbers into values for summarizing. As you do this, the pivot table will populate and update automatically, making it easy to see results without manually writing formulas. That covers everything you need to know, and that is all there is to it.